Golden Jubilee, Golden Jubilee, Golden Jubilee. The Old Students Association of Government Secondary School, Ogu, celebrates her Golden Jubilee anniversary with the theme, Contribution of Alumni Association to Societal Growth. Activities for the 50th anniversary are as follows. Day 1, Friday, 28 October 2022, 10 a.m. Visit to Ogu Traditional Rulers, 11 a.m. Sanitation in Ogu Town, 12 noon. Debate. Topic, should the girl child share from our parents' inheritance? At the school auditorium, 4 p.m. Novelty football match at the school field. Day 2, Saturday, 29 October 2022, 9 a.m. Procession from the Ogu Town to the school by the alumni, 10:30 a.m. Flag off of the Campus Lodge project by the Alumni National President, Dr. Osaki Asobari, PhD, and the Ogubolo LGA Local Government Chairman, Honorable Barrister Vincent Neniebuka, and other dignitaries. 12 noon. Luncheon at the school auditorium to be chaired by Chief Engineer Mark Dasso. The refactor, guest of honor, will be the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Professor Prince Chinedu Mom. Day 3, 30th October, 10 a.m. Thanksgiving service at St. Martin's Anglican Church, Ogu. The association cordially invites all members and the school community to the epoch-making event. Signed, Chairman, Publicity Committee, Commander Oforibo Aminadoki, retired.
Obituary. With deep Christian grief in our hearts, but with total submission to the will of the Almighty, we, the warrior unity of Oro Aholu compound in Oro Oluozu in Elekaya of Rebesi Kingdom in Port Harcourt local government area of Rivers State, announce the death of our beloved brother, husband, father, and uncle, late Deacon Godwin Nyeche Aholu. Funeral arrangements, Friday, 28th October 2022, 5 p.m. Service of songs at his residence, Areta Drive by Ewa Street, Elekaya Road, Port Harcourt. Saturday, 29th October 2022, 7 a.m. Body leaves Ashes to Ashes Mortuary, 7:30 a.m. Body arrives at late Chief Wichegbo compound to be received by family members. 8 a.m. Body leaves for his residence at Areta Drive by Ewa Street off Elekaya Road, Port Harcourt. 9 a.m. Body leaves for Community Primary School Elekaya. 9:30 a.m. Funeral service. May his soul rests in the bosom of the Lord. This is signed by Pastor Chibezo Aholu, Chief Mana.
Here is run. Let me see by the light thou hast shone.
I love this radio station. Keep listening to Super FM.
Everyone needs a superhero.
You've heard about it. It's real.
It is.
It's
Super FM, Nigeria's #1 family, lifestyle, talk and urban radio station.
It's going. It's out of here.
I get my sports information. Sports.
Patriots and the Giants.
You like football, right? High five, football fan.
I love baseball more than anything.
This is Sports on Super FM, Nigeria's #1 family, lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to this fantastic edition of Super Breakfast Sports with me, Merit J, on your #1 family lifestyle talk and urban radio, Super 93.3 FM, Port Harcourt. Today is Friday, the 28th day of October 2022. And on the Breakfast Sports Show today, we'll be talking about the IMC and the new NPFL season. Now, the IMC says only 8 stadiums in Nigeria meet CAF standards. Only 8 stadiums are fit for purpose to run proper football in the Nigeria Professional Football League. And we're asking you a very simple question, but also a very big question. Should only these 8 stadiums be allowed to host matches in the NPFL? This has been mooted by the Vice Chairman of the Interim Management Committee, Elder Paul Bassi. He says only 8 stadiums are fit for purpose according to CAF standards in the Nigeria Professional Football League. And maybe, just maybe, only these 8 stadiums will be hosting football matches in the coming NPFL season. Do you agree? Is it something that you would like to see, only these 8 stadiums that are fit for purpose hosting matches in the NPFL? And should the IMC enforce strict adherence to club licensing requirements? These are the questions we'll be asking, and that's what we want to get your thoughts on the program this morning. Don't worry, you can feel free to throw in your reactions as well from last night's UEFA Europa League games. But to talk us through these questions, we'll be hearing from a lady who knows her stuff when it comes to sports and is very passionate about Nigerian football, especially the NPFL. We'll be speaking to Atinuke Esan for the very first time on the Breakfast Sports Show this morning. I'm sure it's going to be fun. You know how you can get in touch with us, and we're looking forward to get your thoughts on the program. Get in touch with us by going on to our Facebook, where we're live streaming now, at Super FMPH, to drop your comments. You can also feel free to text us on WhatsApp or use the phone lines when we throw them open, as well as contributing via the Super FM Global app, which is on your Play Store as Super FM Global. You can get that and be a part of the show. Without wasting any more time, vamos. All right, so welcome to you once again, and welcome to this fantastic Friday edition of Super Breakfast Sports here on Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. And we'll kick off things, with some information concerning the big discussion this morning, because the vice chairman of the newly inaugurated Interim Management Committee, the IMC of the Nigeria Professional Football League, the NPFL, Elder Paul Bassi, has hinted the possibility of beginning the 2022-2023 football season with 8 stadiums in the country that have met the required standards. In an interview in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, Elder Bassi explained that the challenges facing the league are enormous and will need serious work and tough decisions to get the league back on steam. He said, and I quote, "Going in as the IMC, we have found out that there are a lot of work to be done within a very short time in order to organize a better league football next season. We need all the prayers we can get to succeed. Nigerians are so much in a haste to have the league started. We need a league sponsor. The sports minister wants the league on TV. The NFF president wants the league on TV. There are some contracts that are subsisting. We don't have the details. No proper handing over has been made. We have the case of the referees committee that has to be reconstituted. We have the case of the stadiums that must be looked into." Now, according to Elder Bassi, while the IMC is working to ensure the return of the league on TV, clubs must upgrade their match venues, as the committee will only give approval to stadiums with full requirements, while others may have to choose their match venues from the 8 approved ones, which must be in line with CAF standard. Again, he said, and I quote, "If we have our way, we cannot play professional football league in more than 8 venues, because it's a tragedy that you can come out second in the league, but you cannot play in your home ground in CAF competition. Why should the IMC allow clubs to play league matches in venues when at the end of the day, CAF will not approve to host continental matches? I think we should do things right and give clubs opportunity to upgrade their stadiums to standard. If tomorrow we take a decision on it because we have not yet decided, it's a matter of telling the 20 teams, choose your home ground from the few approved ones." End of quote. The IMC vice chairman, who is also the chairman of NPFL side Akwa United, said there was also a consideration for an abridged league with which the champions will emerge through Super 6 playoffs in order to harmonize the Nigeria football calendar with other major leagues across the world. And now, for more on this, we will connect later on the show with Atinuke Esan to talk about this very important issue. Now on to other interesting stories concerning sports and football. Still in football developments relating to the NFF and the running of Nigerian football, former Edo State FA chairman Honorable Frank Ilaboya has been appointed a member of the Nigerian Football Federation, the NFF's ad hoc committee on the NPFL. The appointment letter dated October 26, 2022 and signed by the NFF General Secretary Dr. Mohammed Sanusi stated that the veteran journalist as well as administrator is being appointed due to high confidence the NFF president reposes on his person. The committee's mandate, according to Dr. Sanusi, is to sit down with the league management company, the LMC, to look into the license agreement between the NFF and the LMC. In his response, Honorable Ilaboya, an executive director of Edo State Sports Commission an immediate past chairman of Owan West local government area, promised to join hands with other committee members to deliver on the numerous tasks before them. Recall that the new NFF president has, on assumption of office, said one of the immediate challenges is to reposition the nation's domestic league. Only last week, the President Gusau-led board inaugurated the Interim Management Committee, the IMC, headed by Honorable Bengai Legbele, a former Director General of the defunct National Sports Commission. In relation to football concerning Nigeria, the delegation of under-23 men national team of Tanzania, who play Nigeria's Olympic Eagles in a crucial under-23 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying in Ibadan on Saturday, have settled into the Asian city of Ibadan, Oyo State, and looking forward to having a feel of the Lekon Salami Stadium turf later today. Both teams played a 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, Dar es Salaam in Tanzania on Saturday last week, and goals are needed to separate them and determine which side goes ahead to face the winner of the fixture between Uganda and Guinea in the ultimate round before the continental final slated for Morocco in 13 months' time. Match officials from Togo have also arrived at Nigeria, as all arrangements have been concluded by the Nigeria Football Federation, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, and the Oyo State government for the big match. Head coach Salisu Yusuf says his boys are primed for a decisive victory when the whistle goes off for 4 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. And very cheering stories. Former Super Eagles defender, Ola Aina, has been ruled out until January 2023 after sustaining a hamstring injury in training. The Super Eagles fullback has made 10 appearances for Torino this season and scored in last weekend's 2-1 victory over Udinese in the Italian Serie A. He will, however, not be involved again this year after suffering a hamstring injury while in training on Wednesday in what will be a big blow to his club. According to Tuto Sport, the defender, who can play as a wing-back and right back, will not be available again this year, as he will need between 6 and 8 weeks to recover from the injury. And former Super Falcons of Nigeria International, Aishat Yusuf Aromire, has become the first woman and first African to win the FIFPro Merit Award. She emerged as the winner of the 2022 FIFPro Merit Awards for Player Voice. The former Nigeria international was nominated for a work empowering girls and women to play football through our foundation, the She Football Initiative. She Football Conference is an annual conference initiated by Aishat Yusuf Aromire, aimed at charging, motivating, and educating young women footballers in their career path. The conference goes hand in hand with the annual All-Star Women Football Competition at Legacy Pitch at the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos. Aishat Yusuf Aromire played for several clubs in Nigeria like Nasarawa Amazons, Delta Queens, and Rivers Angels, as well as in Finland for the KMF. She was a member of the Nigeria squad at the 2004 Africa Women's Championship and the 2007 Women's World Cup, as well as the 2008 Summer Olympic Games. And now from CAF on the continental level, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has set 11 November as the deadline for countries to declare interest in staging the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. A new host must be found after Guinea was stripped of rights because of concerns over infrastructure and facilities. The continent's governing body expects finalized bids, including documents, proposed host cities, and government guarantees to reach its Cairo headquarters by the 16th of December. CAF inspection teams will tour bidding countries from the 5th to the 25th of January next year, and in its quest to find a suitable replacement for Guinea. Findings from the inspections will be submitted to the 24-member CAF Executive Committee, which will announce the successful country or co-host to stage the 2025 finals on the 10th of February. And some other sports stories in boxing. Ukrainian boxer Vasily Lomachenko, who was preparing for a fight to regain his world title championship belt in February, when he heard that Russia had invaded his home country and then went all the way, left safety abroad, went to Russia to fight on the front lines. He will now be back in action in boxing ring tomorrow as he takes on undefeated Jermaine Ortiz on Saturday at the Madison Square Garden, and if he wins, he should get a shot at undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney next. And some record-breaking stuff in the UFC is back to go down as Raul Rosas Jr. will become the youngest fighter to compete in the UFC. Rosas Jr., who has a record of 6 wins and no losses yet, is set to make his UFC debut against Jay Perrin, who is 10-6 and at UFC 282 on the 10th of December in Las Vegas. This is according to Rosas' representative agency, Iridium Sports. Last month, Rosas became the youngest fighter to win a contract on Dana White's Contender Series when he defeated Mando Gutierrez via unanimous decision. Rosas was just 17 at the time of that fight. He celebrated his 18th birthday on the 8th of October. According to UFC Stats and Info, Dan Lauzon currently holds the record as the youngest fighter to ever compete in the octagon. He competed at the age of 18 years and 198 days. He made his UFC debut in January 2010. Rosas Jr. will comfortably beat that mark as long as the fight stays together on the 10th of December. He was born in Mexico and now fights out of California, and he will be going up against Perrin since the UFC announced this earlier on. And before we connect with Atunuka, some updates from the UEFA Europa League. Manchester United were in the goals as Cristiano Ronaldo scored on his return to the pitch for Manchester United in a 3-0 win over Sheriff Tiraspol last night. But for Arsenal, it was they suffered a 2-0 defeat away from home at PSV Eindhoven, which leaves their qualification as group winners hanging in the balance and depending on the results from the final group fixtures. And on that note, I'd like to bring on board Atinuke Eson to Super Breakfast Sports here on Super 93.3 FM this morning. Good morning to you, TK. Welcome to the show. All right, we'll just have to reestablish connection with Atinuka Esan here on Super Breakfast Sport this morning. And still some updates from the UEFA Europa League while we wait for that. From the Conference League, however, West Ham United sealed a place in the round of 16 of the UEFA Europa Conference League. Manuel Lanzini's penalty was enough to earn all 3 points for West Ham United against Sikkeborg yesterday. And glad to announce that we've now been rejoined on Super Breakfast Sports here on Super 93.3 FM by Atinuke Esan. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and it's a wonderful moment to be here.
And now we're focusing this morning on Super Breakfast Sports on the IMC. We already know that an IMC has been put in place, not about whether it was supposed to be instituted by the Federal Ministry of Sports or the NFF. Some of the findings that have been made public by the Vice Chairman of the Interim Management Committee, Elder Paul Bassi. He said in an interview in Uyo that, based, specifically on infrastructure, that we are at a lack of infrastructure to host professional football here in Nigeria. He said that just 8 stadiums are fit for purpose by CAF standards to run a professional football here in Nigeria. Now, with just those 8 stadiums in Nigeria meeting up with CAF standards, according to the Vice Chairman of the IMC, what is your take as regards to the state of footballing infrastructure and stadiums across the country, decades after starting what we call professional football here?
I think it has been something that has been happening for a long time. We see when the season starts, some stadiums don't meet up to the standard. I remember at the beginning of last season, Sunshine Stars has to play away from home. Niger Tornadoes has to play away from home. Nasarawa has to play away from home. So these clubs know that these stadiums are not up to standard. But the most interesting thing is that nothing is being done about it. After just a few games into the season, they get to play at home again, and the season just ends and like that. So I think it's a good one for me because it's to make the state government or the club owners and do something about the stadium. Everybody wants to play at home. We know how important the home advantage is when it comes to Nigeria Professional Football League. So everybody wants to play at home. You can see Nasarawa having problems since they were playing it. Just Sunshine, they really had it all when they went to play in the Djibouti. So they got back to Akure. Even when teams are being banished, you saw some teams banished. One was banished to Abuja. I remember MFM being banished to Djibouti. And they did not have that feel of playing at home. It's not the same thing. So I think it's a strict judgment as much as everybody is saying, but I feel like it's the right thing to do to make sure that those in charge really step up and do what is necessary. Because when you get to some stadiums in Nigeria, it's really appalling to say. A third-tier league should never be held there, not talk of the top-tier competition in the country. So I think it's a good one to say. I think it helps them to sit down and do the necessary things and to make sure that your stadium is put into place.
All right. Now you've talked about the fact that in years past, just recently last season, some teams were, managed to play away from home because they had their stadiums, and then after a couple of games, they went back at home. That was maybe a leniency from the LMC. Now the IMC has been put in to run the shots, pending when a more stable body would come in and run our football here. Do you think this IMC should put their foot down and be strict with clubs, that want to feature in the Nigeria Professional Football League to ensure that they meet up with the club licensing requirements in line with CAF standards?
Yes, I think they should. I think they would. I would expect them to be a lot more stricter than what the LMC did with the club last season. Because when you look at it, the eyes of everybody interested in league is on them. So they know they can't fail. It's just 3 months. You are given 3 months to change something that is like the hardest job to get in the LMC. So they know they have to restrict their decisions. Yeah, they know that they don't have to take it with levity and they have to restrict. They don't have to do what the LMC was doing last season. You play for a few games, you go back to your home, even though you did not really do what you expected to do. But I think with this news being released so early, when we didn't even know the date, I hope some clubs see this news as a reminder to put things into place before they start doing the inspections, to make sure that your stadium is approved for the league and everything. So I think it serves as an early reminder for them to do it and know that, okay, we are really interested, we are really serious about making sure that if your stadium is not to standard, you're not going to be playing. And like I said earlier, everybody wants to play. So this is the NPFL where your own point is like the most important thing for you want to survive in the league. So everybody wants to play at home. So I think a lot of stadiums will be put into place for the season start.
All right, and my final question to you now, like you've said, and a good thing that this information is coming out early, so if you need to fix up your stadiums, you do that ahead of time. But assuming we do not get more stadiums that are fit for purpose by the CAF standards, and we have just these 8 remaining at the point where the league is about to kick off or after all the inspections are done, are you in favor of hosting football matches, NPFL matches, only at those 8 stadiums? Is it something that we should consider doing to force the other clubs to comply?
Yes, it is, because it will be a punishment for those teams that are not playing at home. Yes, it is, because it's simple. In Nigeria, a lot of things don't go by the law. Like, we break the law a lot of times. But I think at this point, I think it's where people need to realize that if you don't do what you're expected to do, you get punished for it. So I think it goes down to, if you don't do your stadium, if you don't do the necessary things that makes your stadium to be CAF. I don't think the LMC go as much as CAF capacity, the CAF structure. But there's a standard to which even a league match should be hosted in the stadium. There's a standard. Let's even leave CAF for now. There's a standard. Like I said, there are some stadiums don't even want the standard to host a third-tier league match.
All right, thank you.
So if it's a stadium that is ready to host the league, fine, we'll go ahead with the stadium.
All right, thank you so much, Atunuke, for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so from the vice chairman of the IMC, Elder Paul Bassi, he says just 8 stadiums are fit for purpose. He says, and I think it makes sense. We've talked about it before. Why play at your home in the league, and then when it comes time to play on the continent, you cannot play there because it doesn't meet the required standards? So we'd like to get your thoughts on this. He says just 8 stadiums. So the question is, should we play football matches at only these 8 stadiums, only these 8 match venues that meet the requirements, or maybe bend the corner, be lenient with the other teams, allow them, maybe just for this season? 0705 079 1021. 0811 743 1021, and you can reach us on WhatsApp via 0905 948 1021. Should only these 8 stadiums that are good enough, that are up to CAF standards, be allowed to host football matches in the coming NPFL season? That's what we want to hear from you. We have also a post up on our Facebook. You can head on there to drop your comments as well, at SuperFMPH on Facebook. And we'll start off with the comments that we have on Facebook. We'll read those comments very shortly. Okay, let's have this from the WhatsApp. This one says, congratulations to all the clubs that won their respective games last night in the ongoing UEFA Europa League, especially my club, Manchester United Football Club. Glory, Manchester United. And then he sent that twice. Barinoa Saro Bessi. Thank you so much for doing that. even if you did that twice. On Facebook, we have comments concerning the stadiums, the state of the stadiums in Nigeria. Skifubero says, since only 8 stadiums meet CAF standards, for me, let's use the 8 allowed to host CAF matches. Thank you so much for that one. Kwate Magnus on Facebook also says, for me, the 8 stadiums that have met the CAF standards and requirements should be allowed and be used only. Gone are those days in sports where we do anyhow. Standards should be our watchword. Thank you so much, Kwate Magnus. Engineer Boma Owuje on Facebook says, good morning. Yes, I agree with, he says, with CAF. So we will go back and put things in place. So I think it's the IMC. The IMC saying this, not CAF. CAF has not said that we should host our games in just 8 stadiums. It's the IMC saying that we have just 8 stadiums that are fit for purpose according to CAF standards. And we might just be hosting the NPFL for next season at only these 8 match venues. And just before we run out of the program this morning, a little bit of information for you. And this is not very interesting one. Last night, there was a stabbing at a supermarket near Milan in northern Italy. And unfortunately, one of the victims was Arsenal defender who's on loan at AC Monza, Pablo Mari. The 29-year-old Spanish defender who joined Arsenal from Brazil side Flamengo in January was unfortunately caught in that messy incident. The perpetrator, a 46-year-old suspect, has been arrested, but unfortunately, one life already lost from that incident. Really sad one there. But more cheering. This might cheer you up a bit because Borussia Dortmund striker Sebastian Haller is back in training 3 months after he underwent surgery for a testicular tumor. He was ruled out for several months in July after Dortmund said he would have to undergo chemotherapy following his €31 million move from AFC Ajax. But just on Monday, Ajax manager Alfred Schroeder revealed that Sebastian Haller is now back and training at Ajax Amsterdam, even as he aims to get fit in time to resume professional football. We wish him all the best on his road from recovery. And a special birthday shout-out on Super Breakfast Sports this morning goes out to Prince Walu. He is former Dolphins midfielder and currently a sports journalist who has been a friend contributing here on Super Breakfast Sports and also Sports Traffic once or twice. We wish you all the best, Prince, and we'll talk later on backstage. For now, let me hand over to Obi Ivy. Obi Ivy is here, and very shortly you'll be hearing from her and the rest of the house from Comedy House of Assembly. Good morning to you, Obi.
Good morning. So the news about the Arsenal defender that got killed is quite saddening. You know,
he's not dead yet.
Well,
severely injured, but unfortunately, one other person died unidentified.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Well, it's not like the Arsenal player's life is more important than the person who died, but you know, at least thank God that he's alive.
Thank God he's alive, and hopefully he recovers.
Yeah, hopefully he does that and he's able to go back to play. Well, stay with me on the Super Breakfast Show. I'll be back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
We know what you want and how you want it.
You're Super FM. Yeah!
It's not enough to say you do it better than the big names in football.